Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I got another review for you. This is Scout Comics Locust number 2. This is done by, and let me make sure I get his name right. I love this writer. This is Massimo, Rosi, and Alex Nieto. This is basically a post-apocalyptic, kind of journey of a ride. It is about Max and his further adventures in this post-apocalyptic world that is Locust. In this world, it's a virus that takes out everybody, and it's pretty quickly, and what it does is it basically changes you into those Locust type of things. If you have not watched my first review, check that out. Each of these issues got a single issue. I love the story so much. And this was actually requested by a whole bunch of people that I read this comic, and it was worth everything that people said. It is basically like A-Day is the present, story, and then it has like it's really like a present and backstory, but this is the backstory. We were following Max and his mom, and they are trying to get out of the city. It is 2 years before the future, like present timeline storyline, but we just see like the city going under chaos. He was a fisherman that like came back, and by the time they got to New York City, it was all like overrun by these locust creatures, and we have seen like a little bit of their transformation. He kind of sees it firsthand as he's trying to get his mom out of the city, and basically that's kind of all he's doing. He makes a couple pit stops trying to find certain people and get help, and it's just ridiculous. But as he gets to his first stop, that's when they first really start seeing like people change into these locust, things. The story continues with it's the future storyline, but currently it's the present. But Max is looking for a little girl. And he is, after the first issue, he got information from one guy that he had tracked down about this like ultra-religious group that is out in the woods. So he has tracked them down. He has found their little cabin in the woods, and using stealth and everything, he kind of goes inside. They go back to the past A-Day, situation with him and his mom, and more chaos going on in the city as he's trying to flee. Eventually, his car ends up wrecking, and they both get injured. And luckily, as shown down here, they are rescued by some nice people and taken somewhere. Both the mom and Max, they both kind of black out. They go back to the future storyline, and Max is creeping through the house, and he sees that it's not just like one little kid that they have kidnapped, but a whole bunch of little kids, and and then there's more than like a couple people there that are on guard. He quickly finds like I guess like an auditorium or a meeting room. It looks like a big living room kind of situation, but they are about to perform a sacrifice, and at that moment Max walks in and then kills the like main priestess guy that's doing the sacrificial sacrifice. Kind of blows his eye out. We go back to the past storyline, and Max and his mom are waking up. His mom was actually woken up before Max did, and Max is waking up and meeting some of the other kind of like, I guess you can say, refugees or survivors at this moment. And they're kind of like piecing together what's going on, that kind of stuff. They do, their place where they're supposed to be staying is supposed to be fortified, but we know how those situation goes. Eventually they get overrun because they just don't know what they're dealing with. It has a lot of that back and forth conversation between the new survivors and then Max and his mom, and Max is just pretty guaranteed to, he's there to help, but he also wants to protect his mom. He is injured, but he still does, ask for a gun and ask to go out and help the other people protect, the little colony that they have going. They go back into the, present storyline, and Max is trying to deal with all these crazy, looks like cult members or something like that. And just at the very end, they show they show a guy, and he's been. It's like it starts like little by little, but they have a guy in the background, and he's like, you know, right here you can see him in this panel, and he's like creeping over to a switch, and eventually he does make it over to that switch because Max is dealing with all these other guys, and it releases like a cage that has a bunch of these like Locust guys captured, and that's kind of where they leave us off at this issue, showing Max is going up against some more aggressive Locust creatures, you know, they show. They do also show on the third issue that Max is leaving that cabin with a child, so it looks like he is successful in that manner. But that is issue 2, and what a stellar issue. I'm looking forward to issue 3, which should be out pretty soon because this came out, I think now 2 weeks ago. But that is my review. It's great art, great story, it has really good pacing. I'm really interested to see where it's going after the whole, you know, after he saves the child, because that was like the whole meat of the story, and I think it is a 5-issue run, so we'll have to see. If you read it, you know, let me know. If you haven't, you know, why'd you pass? You know, if you're interested, what are you drawn to? That kind of thing. Let's talk about it, you know. Like, comment, share, subscribe. That's all I got for y'all. See y'all later. Catch me on Spine Ticks in a little bit.